Hey, Stella!
Amy, all this time we could have been friends.
I'm gonna change. I'll change. I've learned that I have the strength to change.
Hey, it's Michael, aka Oscar Man.
And sometimes I think these performances, and others which became iconic, are better remembered than the ones that won. I mean, who doesn't know this one?
Knowing how nervous I must have been, a stranger in a new household, knowing how important it was for me to feel accepted, it was so kind and thoughtful of you to make my first moments here so warm.
Julie Andrews received her second consecutive Best Actress nomination following a win on her first try for 1964's Mary Poppins. In The Sound of Music, Andrews solidified her standing as the premier star of musicals in the 1960s when she was cast as Maria.
Dressed up in nothing but some old drapes.
Mm-hmm. And having a marvelous time.
They have uniforms.
Straitjackets, if you'll forgive me.
I will not forgive you for that.
Children cannot do all the things they're supposed to do if they have to worry about spoiling their precious clothes.
Yet.
Well, they wouldn't dare. They love you too much. They fear you too much.
I don't wish you to discuss my children in this manner.
Well, you've got to hear from someone. You're never home long enough to know them.
I don't want to hear any more from you about my children.
I know you don't, but you've got to.
Which performance prevented Andrews from becoming only the second actress to win back-to-back Oscars?
Darling, I'm so happy as we are. I don't want anything to change. If we got married, there'd be so much bitterness and unhappiness for everyone, wouldn't there? Oh, darling.
Now, to the legion of fans who have loved The Sound of Music, sorry, but I think the Academy made the right choice of Julie Christie in Darling. Yeah, I know you probably do-re hate me. Guess I have a thing for pretty women looking mod in the 1960s. Is there anyone who doesn't know that Clark Gable played Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind?
Oh, I don't think I will kiss you. Although you need kissing badly. That's what's wrong with you. You should be kissed and often, and by someone who knows how.
Well, I suppose you think you're the proper person.
I might be, if the right moment ever came.
The 1939 blockbuster swept the Oscars, except the Academy frankly didn't give a damn when it came to lead actor, choosing this performance instead.
None of you here will remember Max Steffel. He was German master at Brookfield from 1890 until 1902. He was very popular here, made many friends, among whom I was proud to include myself.
Robert Donat in Goodbye, Mr. Chips may have been a surprise winner, but the Academy showed, at least for 1939, that the Oscars weren't necessarily a popularity contest. And with that loss, Clark Gable had to settle with his one Oscar for 1935's It Happened One Night. Audrey Hepburn's performance in 1961's Breakfast at Tiffany's was so iconic that even Holly Golightly's style remains fashionable today.
I know you do, and that's just the trouble. It's a mistake you always made, Doc, trying to love a wild thing. You were always lugging home wild things. Once it was a hawk with a broken wing, and another time it was a full-grown wildcat with a broken leg. Remember?
Little me, there's something.
You mustn't give your heart to a wild thing. The more you do, the stronger they get.
A previous winner for her first film, 1953's Roman Holiday, Hepburn lost Best Actress to a legendary star who made Oscar history for being the first to win for a foreign language film.
E che te ne fai? Me le metto? Le metti? Sì. Non me devi dire sì con quell'aria, capito? Non te le metti ste calze, non te le metti! Non te...
Audrey Hepburn was lovely as always, but I'm Team Sophia Loren for her stunning performance in Two Women. In the surprise hit Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta achieved iconic status for his moves on the dance floor as well as his three-piece white suit.
know, the thing is that I would like to get that high someplace else in my life, you know?
Like where?
I don't know where. I don't know. Someplace. You see, dancing, it can't last forever. It's a short-lived kind of thing. But I'm getting older, you know, and you know, I feel like, you know, so what? I'm getting older. Does that mean like I can't feel that way about nothing left in my life, you know? Is that it?
Known for his role of Vinnie Barbarino in television's Welcome Back, Kotter, Travolta's portrayal of Tony Manero in the low-budget film skyrocketed him to overnight fame, earning him the first of his 2 Best Actor nominations. The Oscar that year went to another newcomer instead.
I'm not crazy about the arrangements.
You're not.
Definitely not. I'm paying the rent. I will make it a rules. I like to take showers every morning, and I don't like the panties drying on the rod. I like to cook, so I will use the kitchen whenever I damn well please, and I am very particular about my condiments, so keep your salt and pepper to yourself.
Richard Dreyfuss's surprise win for The Goodbye Girl made him, at the time, the youngest actor to win in the lead category. Had Travolta prevailed, that crown would have gone to him. Oh, that prom scene. Sissy Spacek had to endure 2 weeks of being covered in corn syrup, but it earned her a nomination for Best Actress in 1976's Carrie.
I know.
He undid your father and carried him off.
He ran away, Mama.
The devil tempted him.
He ran away with a woman, Mama. Everybody knows that.
You must renounce this power. You must give it up. You must never use it.
I'm going. You can't stop me. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Her performance as the young woman bullied by her classmates, as well as her mother, brought Spacek widespread acclaim in a film that is still enjoyed by audiences today. It's safe to say that the Academy wasn't quite ready to honor achievements in horror films, and Spacek lost to this performance.
The American people want somebody to articulate their rage for them. I've been telling you people since I took this job 6 months ago that I want angry shows. I don't want conventional programming on this network. I want counterculture. I want anti-establishment.
I think Faye Dunaway deserved to win for her iconic role as Diana Christensen in Network. And Spacek only had to wait 4 more years to claim her Oscar for 1980's Coal Miner's Daughter. Named the best film of all time by the American Film Institute, Citizen Kane is usually mentioned when lists are made of outstanding cinematic achievements. Orson Welles wrote, directed, and starred in the story of Charles Foster Kane, a thinly disguised portrait of newspaper publisher William Randolph Hearst.
I sympathize with you. Charles Foster Kane is a scoundrel. His paper should be run out of town. A committee should be formed to boycott him. You may, if you can form such a committee, put me down for a contribution of $1,000.
My time's
On the other hand, I am the
wasted
publisher of the Inquirer. As such, it's my duty, and I'll let you in on a little secret. It's also my pleasure to see to it that decent, hard-working people in this community aren't robbed blind by a pack of money-mad pirates just because they haven't anybody to look after their interests.
Citizen Kane generated a lot of controversy at the time of its release, and the film, though nominated for a total of 9 Oscars, only won 1 for original screenplay, which Welles shared with Herman Mankiewicz. The Academy likely feared a fallout if Welles had won lead actor, so they made a safer choice.
As much again killing as ever, sir. But it was this way, Colonel. When I started out, I felt just like you said. But when I hear them machine guns are going and all them fellers are dropping around me, I figured that them guns was killing hundreds, maybe thousands. And there weren't nothing anybody could do but to stop them guns. As
Sergeant York, Gary Cooper won the first of his 2 Best Actor Oscars for his critically praised performance as the decorated World War I soldier. Given Citizen Kane's legendary place in film history, should Welles have been awarded Best Actor in addition to his Oscar win for screenplay? Riding high following her first nomination for Steel Magnolias, Julia Roberts followed up with 1990's Pretty Woman, a box office smash that made the relative newcomer a bona fide star.
6 full nights, days 2, 4,000.
6 nights at 300 is 1,800.
You want days 2?
2,000.
3,000.
Done.
Holy shit!
The comedy about a prostitute's Cinderella story after meeting wealthy corporate businessman Richard Gere took in nearly $500 million at the box office. Julia Roberts' first nomination in the lead actress category lost to a performance that has become equally, if not more so, iconic.
And there was Rocket Man trying to get out, and here comes the cliff. And just before the car went off the cliff, he jumped free, and all the kids cheered. But I didn't cheer. I stood right up and started shouting, "This isn't what happened last week! Have you all got amnesia? They just cheated us! This isn't fair! He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car!"
As Annie Wilkes, Kathy Bates became one of the first to be recognized by the Academy for a performance in the horror genre. And though Roberts won her Best Actress Oscar for the 2000 film Erin Brockovich, I think her role in Pretty Woman is the one that is still best remembered by audiences today. He may not have won Best Actor, but Sylvester Stallone will always be known for Rocky, the character he originated in the 1976 Best Picture winner.
Yeah, I'll fight him. My face kicked in. You come around here, you want to move in here with me? Come on here, it's a nice house. Real nice, come on in and move. It stinks. This whole place stinks.
Though I'm not as big a fan of Rocky as so many others are to this day, I do admit that Stallone's first major film brought him worldwide popularity, and his iconic moment at the top of the steps in Philadelphia is a part of film history. But hold on, yet another iconic performance won Best Actor that year.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
Peter Finch's posthumous win for Network has divided Oscar fans, but his speech is relevant today. Poor Meryl. 21 Oscar nominations to date, yet she has only won 3. And one of her most memorable performances didn't win her a statue.
That blue represents millions of dollars and countless jobs. And it's sort of comical how you think that you've made a choice that exempts you from the fashion industry when in fact you're wearing a sweater that was selected for you by the people in this room from a pile of stuff.
As the imperious Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada, Streep's role wasn't a large one, but her presence certainly was bigger than life in this hugely successful comedy. This is my favorite Meryl Streep performance, partially because it mirrored my life when I worked in publishing. I was Andy, not Miranda. But the lady who took the crown for 2006 was this actress.
I doubt there is anyone who knows the British people more than I do, Mr. Blair, nor who has greater faith in their wisdom and judgment. And it is my belief that they will any moment reject this mood, which is being stirred up by the press.
Helen Mirren's performance as Queen Elizabeth is considered by many to be her best, and I doubt Meryl was unhappy losing to a fellow member of film royalty. Humphrey Bogart was a screen legend, and though he won his Best Actor Oscar for 1951's The African Queen, it is his portrayal of Rick Blaine in 1943's Best Picture winner Casablanca that is mentioned the most.
Well, maybe he's not quite as romantic as you are.
It doesn't matter. There is no exit visa for him.
Louis, whatever gave you the impression that I might be interested in helping Laszlo escape?
And Bogart, though admittedly uncomfortable with some aspects of the film, allegedly saying, quote, "I'm not up on this love stuff and just don't know what to do," became a frontrunner for that year's Best Actor award. However, the Oscar went to this performance instead.
How many years have I kept you from looking like that? Makes you have tears. It also makes me have tears.
If you say that, I'll tear it off.
No, No. Then I do not say it. I do not think it.
Paul Lukas recreated his Broadway role as Kurt Mueller in Watch on the Rhine, and while he won the Oscar, it is Bogart's performance that has lived on throughout the years. Now, if this performance is not iconic, I don't know what is. Gloria Swanson had the misfortune of giving an Oscar-worthy performance in a year that had an overflow of stellar work by leading ladies.
We didn't need dialogue. We had faces. There just aren't any faces like that anymore. Maybe one, Garbo. Those idiot producers. Those imbeciles. Haven't they got any eyes? Have they forgotten what a star looks like? I'll show them. I'll be up there again, so help me.
1950 Sunset Boulevard gave Swanson the best role of her career. Though she got the part after Mae West turned it down, Swanson took Norma Desmond to a place few actresses of her generation would have dared to go, and the film became her personal triumph. Many in Hollywood thought she was a shoo-in for Best Actress. They also said the same for Bette Davis in All About Eve. But we all know that 1950's Best Actress winner was this performance.
I just know I hate my life. There's a better kind. I know it. And if you read some of these books, you know it too. Maybe it's right what you say. I'm still dumb. But I know one thing I never knew before. There's a better kind of life than the one I got. Who are you?
Much has been discussed on this channel about Judy Holliday's win for Born Yesterday. I think all 5 nominees that year were outstanding, though my vote would have gone to Swanson. But hey, she was more than okay losing to Holliday, so I guess I should be too. Some additional performances that weren't Oscar winners but have become iconic include Barbara Stanwyck in 1948's Sorry, Wrong Number.
What was that?
What was what, madam?
That click just now on my telephone. As though someone had lifted the receiver off the hook of the extension downstairs.
I didn't hear it, madam.
Well, I did. There's someone in this house. There's someone in the kitchen downstairs, and they're listening to me now.
James
$5,000? Just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're
Life.
talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle.
Rosalind Russell as Auntie Mame.
The English lady's sick, Auntie Mame.
Oh, she's not English, darling. She's from Pittsburgh.
She sounded English.
Well, when you're from Pittsburgh, you have to do something. Now, where were we?
Al Pacino in The
Johnny
Godfather.
is my father's godson. And my father went to see this band. And they offered him $10,000 to let Johnny go. The band just said no. So the next day, my father went to see him, only this time with Luca Brasi. Within an hour, he signed a release.
And everyone knows whatever happened to Baby Jane.
No, I gave her the day off. She has a pretty hard time considering. I told her to come back next week. Oh, Blanche. You know we got rats in the cellar?
Is Marlon Brando as Stanley Kowalski in 1951's A Streetcar Named Desire perhaps the most iconic performance not to have won an Academy Award?
Just remember what Huey Long said, that every man's a king, and I'm the king around here. And don't you forget it.
Actors of his generation were said to have been inspired by and often imitated him. Brando eventually won 2 Best Actor Oscars, but should Streetcar have been his first?
As a matter of fact, my wire...
As a matter of fact, there wasn't no wire at all. There isn't no millionaire.
Humphrey Bogart's win for The African Queen was quite an upset, as many expected Brando to complete his film's victories in the acting categories. Did A Streetcar Named Desire contain 4 great standalone performances, or was this perhaps the greatest ensemble of acting in film history? In other words, how did Vivien Leigh, Carl Malden and Kim Hunter win their Oscars without Marlon Brando's contribution. Maybe Brando lost by one vote or even a handful. We'll never know. His performance wouldn't still be talked about today if it wasn't a milestone in movie history. Many of the performances mentioned so far were given by actors who eventually went on to win an Oscar. But there's one that took iconic to a whole new level by someone who is still without the gold statue. Before I get to that, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. This channel exists because of you, and your passion for and enjoyment of the Oscars, whether you agree with its history or not, is a subject I love discussing with you. When the video concludes with an iconic moment from another great performance that didn't win an Oscar, taking a few seconds to hit the like button and becoming a subscriber would be very much appreciated. In addition to a new video each week, there are daily polls where you get to vote for your favorites, even if the Academy didn't.
I just want to be a part of your life.
Oh, this is the way you do it, huh? Showing up at my appointments?
What am I supposed to do? You won't answer my calls. You change your number. I mean, I'm not going to be ignored, Dan.
Well, the Academy has, so far, 8 times. And it's not a matter of Glenn Close simply giving 8 Oscar-nominated performances. Several times she should have been the winner. 1987's Fatal Attraction became a phenomenon, and the cautionary tale became part of the lexicon of being careful with whom you, date.
I saw my gynecologist on Monday. Here's his card. You can call him.
You don't,
Use anything? No. I had a very bad miscarriage last year. I didn't think I could get pregnant.
How do you know it's mine?
Because I don't sleep around.
As Alex, the other woman, Glenn Close was scary because her feelings of betrayal were believable, albeit extreme. Feeling used and abused by her married lover, played by Michael Douglas, Alex goes on a mission of revenge that includes stalking, harassing, and sacrificing a poor bunny.
What are you doing? Please, Dan. Please don't go. I didn't mean it. Please, I'm sorry. I'll tell your wife.
You tell my wife, I'll kill you.
It only takes a phone call.
Though Jacqueline Bisset was the producer's first choice for the role, only an actress of great skill could have successfully pulled off such a difficult character, one that invoked fear and, in an ironic way, sympathy. To a point. Once you start boiling rabbits, you've lost me. Glenn Close had the misfortune of being nominated in the same year that another actress of iconic stature was at the peak of her fame. Millions love Cher. I love Cher. She deserved the Oscar for Mask. Glenn Close didn't win that year, and she's still without an Oscar. But at least she received the consolation prize, if you can call it that, for giving one of the most iconic performances of all time. Now it's your turn to share some performances that you consider iconic that were nominated for but didn't win an Oscar. I really want to know who is on your list. And until we meet again, here is that memorable moment.
Hey, I'm walking here! I'm walking here! Up yours, you son of a bitch! You don't talk to me that way! Get out of here!